This is Peach Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. Today is another day that I will be going back to story time. It's the story of my grandma and grandpa. They had 18 children, and I've went through all of the children. I've been reading. My cousin Lori Marie put this together, and it's been so wonderful that we can learn a little bit. In each story, almost every one of them, I'm learning something I did not know about the family or about an uncle or aunt, whichever one I'm talking about. This is number 10, and depending on how long this one is, whether I will continue with the next one. I just want to say, please like, subscribe, share, and come back every time. I have a whole mixture of what I do, playing the piano, singing, cooking, all kinds of things. So, and a glimpse in my life. It's my life story. I do want to show you this. I made this one time. This comes in really handy. Put your phone right here, and you can set it down and just be your phone there and without it falling. Of course, I know they make all kinds of things. About my uncle, Buster T. Buster T was born January 1st, 1921. He married Frida May. They lived primarily in Bell Gardens in California, and Buster worked at Maywood Glass Factory. Later, the name of it was changed to Latchford Glass. Buster was a foreman there in the carton department. He retired there and moved back to Black Gum, and they had 3 children. Buster only went to the 8th grade. Buster remembers that they grew or raised most of their food. They grew cotton to be sold so they could buy the clothes that their mother was not able to make. They bought their clothes out of the catalog when they did buy some. Charlie used to call Buster Twint. Now Charlie is the daddy, my grandpa. The reason being is that his middle name stands for T. 21. Now, I want to stay right here. I always heard his name, he was named 21. Now, this is saying different, so I could be wrong. I mean, this more than likely, but we always heard that his name was 21. His middle name was named that, 21, because he was born January 1st, 1921. Buster has had his middle name changed legally to T. July 4th was Buster's favorite holiday because everyone got together. The old school was used for the church services that they would attend every Sunday. They had no church building. Then on Sunday evenings, they would have a gospel singing. He remembers Grandfather Tom preaching at the schoolhouse. Now, that's the first time I've ever heard of Grandfather Tom, the grandfather. I knew my grandpa was a preacher, but I didn't know my great-grandfather was. Buster used to have a pet, and the pet's name was Old Blue, and it was a horse. He remembers Arthur. Now that's one of the older brothers, to be married and move out of the home. The first jobs he had was to work in the cotton fields and help pick the cotton. He also worked in his father's general store filling up bean bags. He received 50 cents a day for that work. On the day that Buster was to get married, he walked down the hill to get Frida. Frida had a pretty blue dress on that Buster's mom had helped her pick out, and a new pair of high heels. Well, walking up that hill and those high heels was not easy. So Frida took them off. She gave them to Buster to carry, and he put them in his back pocket. Frida thought that was such a funny sight, Buster walking ahead of her up the hill, and these 2 high heels sticking out his back pockets. Charlie, that's Grandpa, took Buster and Frida into town to get married. He stopped by on the way to town and picked up Colleen Murphy so that she could be their witness. Buster and Frida's first home was one room above the general store. That's the store Grandpa owned. Frida made some cute curtains to hang on the windows, and they had one little cook stove to cook on and heat their room. Madge, that's the sister that was just the first sister, the last story, remembers one day being in their room visiting. It was a rather cool day, so Frida went to get a jacket that was hanging up, and she put it on. As Frida slipped her arm into the sleeve of her jacket, a mouse ran out of the sleeve. Oh my goodness, I would have been mortified. He was in the army and fought in World War II. He was stationed in Germany, and while there was injured. He spent some time in the hospital there in Germany, but before he came back to the States. That's all the story on my Uncle Buster. Now the next one I know is very short. It's only 2 lines. This is the story of number 11 child. It was a girl. Her name was Velma Olive. Velma Olive was born March 18th, 1922. She died October 12th, 1922. She was buried in the Box Cemetery. That's all that's written about her. So she lived a very short life. I don't know why she died at that time. I'm going to stop there because the next one is quite a bit longer. And I just want to thank you for joining me every time. As you noticed in these stories, we have a background of Christian. We was, Grandpa and my great-grandpa was preachers, or at least they preached. They loved the Lord. You've heard me talk about my grandma and reading about her getting a time to pray when she had all those children. That's amazing to me, to be able to take time, even in this busy world, to call on Jesus. He's coming soon, and we all want to be ready. We continue to live our lives here and thank the Lord. He's given us a good life, many of us. I pray whatever your circumstances is, that you can find happiness in that. I know Christmas is a stressful time for many people. I hope that you can find a ray of happiness in it, because there's so many things that happen, and just find the good things. You don't have to have a lot of presents. We don't need a lot in this life. Thank the Lord. Most of us, I'm sure that most of you that have been watching my channel have a roof over your head, have food in your refrigerator or your cupboards or wherever, and we can stay warm. I just wanted to say that at the end of this. And come back next time. It'll be on my Uncle Albert. It will be about my Uncle Albert. He was number 12. He would make the dozen. Remember, they had a dozen and a half. Come back. God bless you.